football game, National Football League, and you almost dominate the game, but afterwards you feel like you lost. You come in the next day at work and the whole organization is a little down. That's kind of encouraging, because that just tells me that everyone's standard and expectations is much higher, and that we do this for one reason, and that's to get in the tournament and try to win the prize. And so I feel really good about our future here with the Chargers and our ownership with Dean and AG and John, how committed they are to winning the championship. And the management team that I've worked with Tom Telesco and Ed McGuire, we've had these meetings this morning, and I feel really encouraged about moving forward with this organization and the things that we can accomplish in the future. So I talked about our players last night, how resilient they are, how they bounce back, how they never stop playing, how they never stop competing. But I don't talk about the coaches, and I don't talk about the management team enough. They also were very supportive. And with me being a first-time head coach, and their support and how they helped me get through this. So,
what was this year like for you? You worked so hard to get to this point as an NFL head coach. What was it like to finally do it?
Felt great. It was exciting. You prepare for this, but there are some things that you're just not going to be ready for until you go through it, Dan. And I believe I learned a lot this year as a young head coach. And I think I'll be better next year because of some of these ups and downs we had this year.
What were some of the things that you learned?
Well, to stay out of my coach's business. I'm used to having my own side of the ball, my own group. Letting coaches coach, let them do their job and just manage the game and just oversee and understand the big picture. I had to take a step back because I missed those relationships and those healthy conversations that you'd have throughout the day. But I'm sure there's some other things, once I take a step back and reflect on the season, but immediately that came to my mind.
At what point did you feel like his team really bought into your philosophy, the message that you disseminated from the time that you were hired, getting the guys ready for the season and then going through the season?
Well, I thought OTAs. I thought we had the majority of our team here in OTAs, and the way the guys worked together and how they came, these voluntary workouts. And these guys showed up on a consistent basis. And I thought it showed then. And then I thought it really showed in the first quarter of the season. These guys never stopped playing. It's hard to go 1-4 and stay the course, but these guys never stopped playing.
Anthony, what's the offseason going to be like for you? What do you start doing? Do you take some time off, or do you just start grinding?
Well, Eric, you're supposed to take some time off, but I started grinding this morning, to be honest with you. But no, I'm going to get out of we'll finish up here in a couple of days, and I'm going to get out of the building and go do something. You kind of don't know what to do with yourself the first month because you've been in this routine and you've been living off of this itinerary for so long. Now, kind of don't know what to do, but I'm sure I'll figure something out, or my wife will.
When you look at the team and you want to start getting ready for 2018, what are some areas you feel like you need to address in terms of positions to get the team better?
Well, at the end of this month, when we finish our evaluations and rankings of our players, we'll have a better idea of that, of what direction we feel like we need to move in to get better, to take that next step.
So similar to Bradley, you're going to go back and self-scout. Do you go through each game?
Absolutely, yeah. And you go through every single player on the roster, and we'll rank those players, and we'll cross-train, offense to do defense, defense to do offense, and we'll come out of those meetings. It'll be some healthy conversations. We'll come out of those meetings with a better idea of our team and our roster.
Did you wake up feeling more encouraged than you were last night, or was that something where it was really when you got into the building and saw everyone, and that kind of lifted your mood a little bit more?
This morning, I woke up pretty much the same. I was still disappointed, but especially when you have to, you're watching sports and you see all the scenarios play out the way they did. But like I say, coming into the building today and just the people in the building still being disappointed, to me, that was kind of encouraging. The last thing I want to do is come into a place and everybody's satisfied with being 97. I think the people in this building, in this organization, I think the expectation, the standard is right where it needs to be right now.
We saw that clip of your post-game speech yesterday in the locker room. At one point, you really seemed to have to catch yourself. Were you surprised at how maybe emotional you got? Did something sort of hit you suddenly and spark that a little bit?
Yeah, I guess it did. I was surprised, but when you really think about the whole season and the guys and the way they played, They definitely inspired me at times. When I thought I was inspiring, they definitely inspired me, and a coaching staff. We talk about it all the time. So it kind of caught me off guard, but not surprising.
Are you confident with kind of the way things worked out with Ken and Gus, and do you kind of want to, in George, and do you want to keep kind of that nucleus together?
Yeah, we like to keep this together if we can. And I know that some guys are the contracts are up, and we're working on that right now. So yeah, we're trying to keep this staff together, this nucleus together, because I think we got better as a coaching staff as the season went on. We hit some bumps in there early and midway through the season, but things are a lot smoother right now, and I think we understand each other. And the most important thing is we're all pulling in the same direction right now.
How tough was it for you and Ken, specifically because of your experience with offense and calling? You did some play calling.
Well, I think it's human nature. I come in here, I do it my way. He's done it his way. This guy's done it his way, and we just had to kind of figure each other out and do what was right, and that was best for the team. And I feel like that's what we're doing. We're doing what's best for our team right now.
Coach, a lot of times star players get the attention, but when you look back from OTAs until yesterday, who are some of those unsung guys you felt really took the development and reached the next level in their game?
I mean, Austin Eckler was one of those guys that helped us out, winning that backup role, and I think he led the league in solo tackles on special teams. Hunter Henry, he was no surprise, but he's a complete tight end. He's not just a receiving tight end. In the run game, the protection game. I think we had the number one protection unit in the league. Tight ends were a big part of that. And so that's something that he grew in. And I'm sure there's some others, but right now I just can't think of those guys. But when we're done with our evaluations, we'll have a list of guys like that, I'm sure.
How important will it be for you guys to find a kicker?
That's like top priority. It's to find a young kicker, not a Band-Aid, but a young kicker that can be with this organization for a long time, and get him in here, get him in the building around these guys every day, so that the problem is when you're bringing kickers in off the streets and they're auditioning, and then they always feel like they're auditioning because the team is watching them kick on Thursday, and then they go into a game, and I just think sometimes there's just so much pressure on those guys. So get somebody in here that these guys can know, trust, and go from there. But we'll do that this offseason.
How hard is it to evaluate kickers?
For me, it's easy because I just chart the ones they make, ones they miss. But it's hard to know what they're going to do under pressure, under certain circumstances. And when you're bringing guys in that don't have a lot of experience, you just don't know. You really just don't know.
Have you been a part of a team where you had this many changes in a season at that position?
No, this is the first. And I'll be honest, I never saw it coming. We had Lambeau and we had Koo, and I thought that was a great competition, and the young man stepped up and won it. And I thought, that's it. Our kicking problems are solved, and that just wasn't the case.
At all second-guess that decision in light of how Lambeau has performed with Jacksonville?
No, all I can go by is when I got here, I told him it was a competition, and one guy won the competition.
Would you prefer to get a younger guy versus signing a veteran that's maybe nearing the end of his career?
I don't want a Band-Aid, if that's what you're saying. No, I want to get a guy that can be here for a while and grow and be a part of this team in that locker room.
Aside from the kickers, how do you think special teams did this year?
I think we started out slow. We had a young special teams group. We had guys that never played special teams before playing special teams. But now I think those guys are like our core. I think they got better over the season in their coverage schemes and things like that. I think if the kicking was better, special teams wouldn't be such an eyesore at times. But for the most part, I think our young guys stepped up, and I think they're fine right now.
First look, I think I counted 2 starters that are free agents, unrestricted free agents for you guys, and Kenny Wiggins and Trey Lawson. Talk about continuity. Is that part of continuity too? Is keeping starters in the fold and kind of trying to bring back as many of those guys as possible?
Yeah, you like to keep as many starters as you can in fold, but every year in the National Football League, you're going to lose some. You're going to lose some. There's going to be some change, so you can't get around that.
How do you think the rookies kind of performed over the course of the season?
Well, since we had so many rookies make our team, I thought they got some valuable experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing these guys play next year as veterans.
Coach, I think you look at Phillips' numbers, some of the best of his career, the passing attack, right in the top 3 or 4 in the league. Your first year at Philip Rivers,
thought Phillip played, I thought he played well. I really did. And I think his best stat is his turnover stat. I thought he took care of the football. He delivered the mail to the right people at the right time. There were some games that he just played unconscious. And so, and his knowledge of our protection scheme really helps in keeping him on 2 feet and getting guys in the right position.
You talked to Gates this morning about his future in any capacity?
No, we haven't had a chance to talk yet, and we haven't really discussed it as a staff yet, so we'll figure that out at some point.
Anthony, you have a strong reputation in run game and protection coming here. Were you able to make contributions there personally? Because Melvin had a good year, and the sack total was the lowest it's been in a long time.
Well, Pat Myers, our offensive line coach, I brought him in from Buffalo with me, and he knows, what I like in the protection scheme of things, but he's the one that's teaching it every day, along, like I said, with the quarterback. The quarterback and Pat had a relationship going back to NC State. And, I can't tell you how many times we're on a plane coming home, and Pat's talking to Phil, a quarterback on another team about protection. So I think those two working together, and Ken Wissenut, Ken knows protections as well. I think it was a group effort. I can't say it was just my input. It was a group effort.
How much run game? You diversified some things.
We diversified some things in the run game, but it's not where it needs to be. I can tell you that right now. It's not where it needs to be. I think we started out way too slow in the run game. And I think I learned some things, to do some things differently with the personnel we had here versus what I've had in the past. And I think that's only going to get better moving forward. But the run game did pick up, but it's not where it needs to be right now, in my opinion.
How much do you think getting on the field helped Mike Williams this year, even though he wasn't able to really ever get in the flow of things?
Just getting on the field helps. The more reps you can get when you're a rookie, that's got to help in your development big time. So, like I said, I think Mike had a slow season. The injuries held him back. The whole season held him back. But we like Mike. We see Mike in practice a lot, some of the things that he does in practice. And I think Phillip is starting to trust Mike more. And so we see that relationship growing and Mike being a big part of this offense. Well, he's a sharp guy. So I can't say playbook because he knows the playbook. But he just got to stay on the field. His health. Just getting healthy, getting his body stronger, and ready to play the National Football League.
With high draft picks that you've worked with in the past, can a disappointing rookie season kind of linger with some guys mentally?
In my experience, if a guy had a disappointing rookie season, he had a better sophomore season because that just motivated him to get better.
A lot of times receivers, they have a big jump from year 1 to year 2 because they have the off season to work with the rest of the teammates. Do you foresee that happening for Mike?
Yes, that's another good point. Mike will be here from the get-go, and so that's definitely going to help his development.
Are you intrigued to see how the Chiefs fare in the Super Bowl tournament? Because they're the one team that gave Phillip a hard time this year and beat you guys twice.
They're a good football team. I know they went in a slump for a little while. I don't know what happened, but the Chiefs are a good football team. They have weapons at every skill position. They have pass rushers on defense. They have corners outside. I think that's going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs.
Were you surprised at how Trey adapted to your system coming from more of a quarter scheme where he's in Carolina to playing like more of a deep safety that something like Earl Thomas plays?
Trey's a football player, and he had to make an adjustment. And he has one of the best secondary coaches in the game, and Ron Miles and Chris Harris. So I think that had a lot to do with it as well.
Could you see that skill set from him when you evaluated whether you're going to sign him or not? You guys brought him.
You can see that in Trey. Yeah, he could play in the middle of the field. He's that eraser tackler. He had good ball skills. Yeah, you can see those things in him.
You said you're going to look at evaluations past season. How do you personally do that? You look at players, a single player over a series of games itself, situations. How does your
look at all 16 games, and you evaluate that player, and you write him up. And like I say, our defense will look at our offensive players and do the same, and vice versa. But now we look at all 16 games. We write up each player individually.
And when do you start looking at draft players, free agent players, passing, all at the same time, mixture?
You start looking at draft players in February, unrestricted free agents in February. You start looking at both of those. You got the Senior Bowl coming up here at the end of January, so you don't get much of a break.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay.